Hello, Earthlings. Good morning, everyone. Aaron here, aka AJ, aka Papa. It is January 10th, 2020, and I am back with another vlog to feast your eyes indubitably upon my little creatures of enjoyment. It's the 10th of January. I really can't even believe it. I feel like New Year's just happened and we're already 10 days into the year and it is flying by, guys. What is going on? Forgive my slightly low energy today. I have, of course, been doing my yoga every night, and last night I did probably about 10 minutes more of it than I normally do, and this morning, last night, I slept not well at all, lots of aches and pains and such, and then this morning I woke up and I am in pain. My mid back and lower back are just really unhappy with me, and some of it's soreness from just working muscles that I don't normally work, but there's definitely a misalignment there, and I don't know. I think I'm just working out the kinks and I'm gonna push through it and still do my passive stretching and stuff. But I think maybe I just pushed it just a little bit too hard. That's okay though. I mean, it's gonna be an easy day today. I just worked the 4-hour shift at the bookstore and then I'm delivering for the rest of the day, which is, delivering is so easy. There's not a whole lot of heavy carrying, and most of the time is spent in your vehicle traveling from destination to destination. So super, super blessed that I have that job to make money at, because in the event that, I'm really, really injured or, having problems with my body or whatever, it's a very, very easy job physically to do. So last night, Zach and I watched the first episode of the 3-part series on Netflix called Dracula, and holy smokes, we enjoyed it. But with that being said, before you go watch it, you have to walk into it knowing that it's really gory, it's graphic, and it's really campy. I don't think that the people who created this really intended for it to be this really serious piece of art. It's campy. Some of the special effects are a little kooky looking, but it's a lot of fun. And if you're into that kind of gory horror romp, then you will enjoy that. But if not, then definitely steer clear of it, because it's definitely horror, and it's definitely gory, and it's definitely rompy. But I don't know, it was a lot of fun. So no lie, while we were watching the first episode, there's some nuns in it. The first episode, a lot of it is set in a convent, and the Mother Superior of that convent at one point in time said something that I considered using for my quote today, and I actually would have, because it was so good, but I wanted to make sure that my quotes come from leaders in the spiritual community, and obviously a character from Dracula is not going to be a leader in the spiritual community. But the quote that she said was that we do not barter with the infinite, we align with it. And I thought that was such a cool quote, and maybe I will use it for something later, maybe not for 100 Days of Zen, but that's something that it really jumped out and struck me, and it hung out with me for a while, and I thought a lot about it, and I'm thinking a lot about it today. So Zen quote of the day today is a little bit about alignment. So, ready for it? Here it goes. Zen quote of the day today comes from Eckhart Tolle. I've done a quote by him before. I've been listening to a lot of Eckhart Tolle. Even just on YouTube, you can find lots of videos where he has, done a question and answer situations, and also where he's filmed him giving actual guidance to an individual person. It's all very interesting, and he's a very interesting character, kind of odd, but in the most pleasant way possible, and he's funny and just kind of gentle, and I appreciate his approach very much. So, quote of the day today goes a little bit like this: acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation of abundance. You guys have heard me say it time and time again. Life is all about perspective, right? And it's the same when we talk about alignment, aligning with the things that you want to see happen in or become into your life, or the people that you want to see in your life, or the type of mood or vibe that you want to see in your life. Well, it's all about aligning with those things that you would like to see. And a lot of that has to do with your perspective. So Eckhart Tolle is saying here that basically, in order for you to be more abundant, it is important for you to look at and give attention to the things that you already have. Now, I think that if Eckhart were here and were able to expand upon this concept, he would say also that it's not just about recognizing and giving attention to the things that you already have, but feeling good about those things that you already have, feeling abundant about the things that you already have. So oftentimes we will give focus to the things that we don't have, and that gets all of our attention and all of our feeling and all of our, super intense emotion. We look in our wallet and there's $3 in there, and we say to ourselves, oh my God, I have no money. Instead of looking in that wallet and saying, oh my gosh, I have $3 in here. Thank you so much for $3. I am so grateful to have money in my wallet. Looking in your wallet when there's $3 in there and saying, I have no money, is a perspective of lack. Whereas looking at your wallet that has $3 in it and saying, I am so grateful for these $3, I feel abundant because of these $3, that is a perspective of abundance. That example would seem, probably pretty benign to most people. And it really is, but in a situation where you have made a habitual practice of looking at things from a perspective of lack, you can see how those little tiny perspectives of lack throughout the day, all added together, are a life lived in a perspective of lack. Whereas the other side of that coin is equally true. Little tiny perspectives of abundance throughout the day, all added up, lead to a life lived in a perspective of abundance. Admittedly, I'm not very good at this. Sometimes I get stuck in, especially when it comes to money, get stuck in this lack mindset. And it's not always easy for me to look at a situation and say, oh, well, I'm abundant in the face of the fact that I don't have the money to put the gas in my tank, or something to that effect. But what I have gotten really good at is saying, that's not my problem. It's not my business. I don't have to worry about that, And so a lot of times when I'm confronted with a situation where I could potentially focus on lack, I will say to myself, you know what? That's not my problem. It will work itself out, and I don't have to worry about that. There's no need for worry in this present situation. And you know what? I rarely ever truly run into a wall financially as to, can I pay this bill or can I do that? I may run a little bit behind, but it always gets done. And it's because I believe that I don't spend a lot of time worrying about it. I always remind myself that it always works out. Everything always gets paid, and I always have enough. This can all seem very overwhelming. Like, how am I going to monitor all of my thoughts? How am I going to choose which things I want to feel abundant about? How am I going to tackle, if I've been living in a lack mindset for so long, how am I going to tackle taking all of this and switching it over to an abundance perspective on life? And I totally get that, but it's much simpler than one might think. One just first needs to make up their mind that they would like to live in a more positive mindset. And that really is the first and most important step of trying to change your perspective on life. Trying to switch from a perspective of lack to a perspective of abundance is just making up your mind that that's what you want to do. Making a conscious decision to switch your focus from lack to abundance will put these concepts at the forefront of your mind and make you more aware of your thoughts as you go throughout the day. It's very easy to go on autopilot and just think whatever you want to think throughout the day and just passively think and not even realize that you're thinking. But when you become aware of your thoughts and when you become aware of what you're thinking, it's a whole lot easier to pinpoint where the lack is beginning at, where the lack perspective is starting. Now, most of the time people don't have like their whole life to overhaul when it comes to perspective. We tend to be like really good and really abundance focused in a fair amount of areas in our life, but there tends to be like two or three areas, in your life where you have a very stringent lack thought process. And once you figure out where those areas are, you can focus on making some changes in those areas. For myself, the two big areas in my life where I lack focus, where I tend to be more lack-minded, is financially, and then in like my health and wellness, in my bodily perspective, like my perspective on my body and how it looks and what I put in my body and such. Those are my two areas that I struggle with the most. And so I have to monitor those areas of my life much more closely than other people might. Once you know which areas of your life that you need to work on your perspective on, it's just simply a matter of switching your focus from feeling lacking in that area to feeling abundant and thankful for the things that you already have. So for instance, in my case, since I have a lack perspective in the financial area of my life, I have made constant effort in monitoring my internal talk, changing that from, oh, I don't have any money, or, oh, we're broke, and to changing that to, I always have enough, my life is abundant, I have a constant flow of money coming into my life. And am I perfect at it? Absolutely not. You'll hear me say I'm broke all the time, and it's something I work on a lot, and I'm still imperfect at it. But this is part of my spiritual growth. If I didn't have challenges in some area, I would have no reason to grow. It's the same for you. Your challenges in your life, the areas that you are challenged in, are simply for the purpose of you growing spiritually. They're not to punish you. They're not because you've done something bad. They're not repercussions for some way that you've lived your life. They are just a reason for you to grow spiritually and for you to be challenged to a point of spiritual growth. So try not to take things personally when it comes to areas of your life where you are challenged. It's not about that. It's just about growth. Now, I've rambled on quite a bit about this subject. It's something that I feel strongly about because I struggle with it myself. And so sometimes when I have personal experience in a subject matter, I get a little fired up about it. So I apologize if I was long-winded, but at the end of the day, really all that this change in perspective is about is just about identifying the areas in your life that you struggle with, okay? The areas that you have a negative self-talk about, and monitoring those thoughts, that self-talk, and changing it to a different perspective, and also seeking out the things in those areas of your life that you do have and being abundantly thought processed about them. So for instance, for me, it helps me daily when I get into a lack mindset about my finances to remind myself that I have a beautiful apartment, I have nice things, I never have to want for anything. Most of the time, whenever I want something, I go out and get it. I have food in my refrigerator, I have gas in my tank, I have a job to make money at any point in time. I have I literally have everything that I need and much, much more on top of that. So that is the way that I get myself out of a lack mindset with finances. And that's all you need to do too. Just give attention to the things that you are grateful for already in your life. And you will see, as your perspective changes, you will see more often a flow of things in those areas in your life change. The negative, as it shifts to a positive, will attract more good into those areas of your life. And I can guarantee you, once you see the shift in the flow based upon the shift of your focus, it will be much easier to monitor and much easier to maintain a better focus in those areas of your life. So remember, guys, acknowledge the things in your life that you already have. That is the foundation of abundance. Also remember that the challenges that you have in your life are simply there for spiritual growth. The sooner you grow, the sooner the challenges pass. It doesn't mean that other challenges won't arise, but the sooner you learn how to feel abundant about the challenges in your life, the sooner they will pass. And acknowledging all of the things that you do have and feeling great about the stuff that you do have, feeling great about all of the good in your life that you currently have, is the basis for all of that abundance that you need to move on to the next phase of your life. So get out there, guys. Feel abundant. Like I say, always express gratitude and love to one another. We are having a shared experience, and my goodness, it's a fantastic one. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, how's it going? All finished for the day. I'm gonna keep it quick because I'm tired. Delivering was good, work was good, today was good. Everyone's happy. Yay. Good night. I love you guys. Bye.